If you are a web designer or an agency and you're doing cold outreach, then most likely you know the issue that the generic outreach is kind of really bad because the business owner gets regularly emails like, hey, your website does not look good, but I can help you to make it better. Same for search engine optimization and also other services. And the issue is that they get a lot of emails like that and they will just ignore it, which means in general, there will be a really low response rate. But if you provide value first, where you directly show, hey, your website could look like this, and you send directly, for instance, a link to a preview or an HTML file with their redesigned websites, where you also use their name, colors, you already pull reviews from Google reviews, and then the chances are much better that they will also respond because you kind of hooked them already with a website that looks better than their current website. And just to give an example, whenever you type for a specific service and also then the city, then you will find a lot of websites that look really outdated. As an example here, it's from a woodworker, or another example from another woodworker. So it's just a simple landing page. And as you can see, most of them don't even have a fav icon. So it's a really outdated website. And here it's the same for Tyler. Even though these websites work, there's definitely room for improvement. And before I give you a live demo on how it will work by using Claude and also specific Claude code skill, let me show you how the output could look like. And as an example, right now we are looking at a simple dashboard, which is actually just an HTML file, but you can find here everything that was scraped by Claude Code. And you can also navigate from here if you want to proceed with a redesign. So as an example, here scraped some data, and we already know if they do have a website or if they don't have a website, what is the typical rating based on the Google reviews. And there's also a score, which means you can easily filter out websites that look already good, and instead you can focus on these websites that definitely need an improvement. And to give you an example how it can look like, I already did that for another website. So I have here two websites, and here's the current one. So this is the live website from the Tyler, and the Claude Code skill took care of optimizing it into this specific website here. And all of that was done automatically. So the whole layout, also the images, which are generated by using Nano Banana 2. It took care of checking what is a typical rating in Google reviews and then used that in the credibility section. Then it contains the services, another section with some key informations. And what's also really great, it also pulls real reviews from Google reviews and then adds them as the testimonials directly to the website. And apart from that, there's also a section on the contact part, also Google Maps card. So before I proceed, let's have a quick look under the hood. And for that, I've prepared two diagrams. And first of all, this is kind of the high-level architecture overview, which means everything is kind of based on Claude code skills that are also able to directly execute different Python modules for getting a screenshot, getting ZERP results, scraping the content, generating images by using the API from Key AI. Next to that, we have also a storage layer because we don't want to scrape always the same results, and have also kind of an historical overview. And for that, there's a simple SQLite database. And for being able to know what was analyzed, also based on the website, the output structure follows the same pattern when generating and also analyzing websites. So there's an output directory followed by the slug from the website and then all the content. So a screenshot, AI generated images, and of course also the HTML file. And next to that, we have also an environment file, which is then used for storing API keys because this system depends on a few external APIs such as Zerpa, Firecrawl, and also Key AI for being able to generate the images. And for capturing screenshots, this tool is right now using Playwright. So it's actually free. You don't have to enter any API key for that, but it's definitely better to use something that can run on your computer and is therefore free. Because if you also use Firecrawl for capturing the screenshots, then the whole workflow will consume more credits. And in a nutshell, the main pipeline looks on a high level overview like this. So we first of all get the results by using Zerpa. Then we take the screenshot, scrape the content, pass all of that to Claude Code because it can actually view the screenshot and also analyze the data. And then there's a step in between because if you automate the whole process, then it might be possible that you will optimize also websites that look actually good, which means you would spend more tokens, more credits for external APIs, and all of that might be really inefficient. And that is the reason why there is a manual review before we start to generate the website and also generate the images, because this part here is the most expensive part, even though it just costs a few cents, but compared to the other pipeline, it consumes definitely more credits. So let me walk you through the demo, and that means I need to open Claude Code, which I have already done. And I'm right now in the IDE Visual Studio Code, but you can also use anti-gravity, just a terminal, or also any other IDE. And the first step is to invoke a specific skill, which is called Discover Businesses, which takes care of scraping the results from Google. So I can just simply enter here query as an example, Tyler in German, followed by the city, and then also the country key. And if I want to scrape more results, then I can also just add here a number. As an example, this one would just scrape the first result. But if I want to get more results, then I can also add here a 10, and then it would scrape the first 10 pages of Google. But I will keep it as it is because the default is set to 5 pages. So now Claude Code takes care of getting the SERP results. So now we can see that we have in total 50 items where we have 42 websites and 8 of them don't have a website, which means we can continue with the next skill, which is scrape business. And I could also now pass an ID in case I want to scrape a specific website, but if I want to scrape everything, then I can simply leave that out. The scraping is complete, and we can see that we have 84 websites successfully scraped, where 3 failed due to different reasons. And we can also check now the dashboard because this should be updated now as well. And we can see that we have now more entries. The next step is to analyze these websites so that we also know if there might be a good candidate for potential redesign. And for that, let's pick a specific one. So let's go to the visual gallery because we can directly see how the website looks like, which definitely helps a lot because you can still manually check if the website looks actually bad or if maybe Claude did a wrong analysis. So if we scroll down, then let's check if we find something that looks obviously really outdated. So let's pick this one here. So if we check that manually, then we can also see that it looks definitely outdated. And if we want to analyze it now, then we can simply take the ID, go back to Claude Code, and then use the skill analyze website followed by the ID. And of course, you can also do that without specifying any ID, and then it will analyze every entry, which might also take quite some time, depending on how many websites you scraped before. So now we can also see that we do have an analysis, and we can also check that directly in the dashboard. And for that, we have first of all to refresh. And then let's search for the business ID, which was 41. And then we can see it was analyzed. The score is 4 out of 10. And it obviously needs a redesign. So it's definitely a good candidate for taking this specific website into the next step, which is the generation of the HTML file itself, including also generating the images. That means we can go back to Claude Code and then go ahead with the following command. So generate website followed by the ID. So the generation of the redesigned website is done, but we don't have images yet because there's still the manual review step in order to save some credits. But in case you want to do that completely automatically, that would work as well. So let's open the website by going into the folder. So it's here, and then let's have a quick look into what we have. So we have the screenshot and the optimized version as well as the original one. So let me open that quickly. And the new version looks like this. We don't have any images yet because we still need to generate them. You can already see it looks definitely better than before because we have now different sections. We have a hero section. We have a section of specific services, an about section, and if we scroll down, then also the testimonials, as well as one specific section with contact data, but also a Google Maps card. So let's say we are happy with the specific version here, and then we can also go into the next step and generate images by using the following skill. So it's simply generate images. So the image generation is done, and it took 10 minutes to generate 8 images. So we have an image for the heroes section, for the services, and also for the about section. And we can also have a look into them, how they look like. So for the about section, we have a team, which is obviously from Cologne due to the cathedral. If we have a look into another image, let's take the hero image, which looks definitely weird because that doesn't make sense at all, but at least there's a cathedral in the background. But the good thing is that if something doesn't look good, you can still rework on that by telling Claude to improve, for instance, the hero image, and then it will execute the skill for generating images and then also update that based on your prompt. So let's check how the website now looks like with images. And for that, we have to refresh it. And as you can see, we have now a hero section with the image, which looks definitely weird. Also the other sections like for the services, about section, but this time everything with real images, which gives the website definitely a better look. And that's it actually regarding this workflow. And of course, everything can be automated by just telling Claude to skip the manual review in case you want to let it run completely automated and for instance, already generate 50 or 100 websites in one go. But of course, you have to keep in mind that this might also consume more credits. And in case you're interested in such workflows, then you can find all of them within my community. In this case, under the Vibe Coding Classroom in the section Value First Outreach. And in case you're in general interested in learning how to leverage tools such as Claude Code, but also orchestration tools like N8N, then feel free to check out my community, where you can find a lot of different templates for search engine optimization, a complete agentic SEO system, but also beginner-friendly tutorials like here. And in case you do have any questions, feel free to add them to the comments and we will hear each other in the next video.